no language barriers, right?
No, no language barriers at all. Um, we are here, and peace. What's going on? How y'all feel
I
today?
represent just one block, AD Ave. Now I live in Middletown and need an easy pass. Popping tops, I've got no ops. Plus I hate the cops. Every time my singles drop, I blow the spot like tiny tots. Son, I'm in build mode. Killing mics like Laurie Strode. Decimate, then absorb the fold. Excuse these blues like jelly roll. I'm fresh to death, pimping my stroll. Sell out the Barclays as a goal. Never stagnant, keep the magnets active. Massive currents through my soul. Ayo, I'm up in this bitch. Hand on my dick, shouting, y'all can't fuck with this. Cause this is that real shit that makes you twist your lip. Throw up a black fist and even twist the spliff. Here comes the shift, I dish out else like it's your dying wish. My rhymes are sick, so each of my albums is a hospice mix. Getting back on track, my drops will feed like Similac to babes in need of oral saving. This industry is so depraved, they may declare I'm raving. Remember, Krane is a haven to all citizens of this hip-hop nation. So thanks to your gods for sending him to save us. From the trash to radio, seems quite content with playing. I forgot what I was saying, but whatever, I'm better than the highest selling rapper. So is per rapper, and that, sir, is no cap. I learned to rap for fun, and now I'm number one. This beat is gold, shout out to Lena for another one. Single moms with only fans is one hell of a fad. Silly rabbit, those tricks are for kids, not super single dads. Immune to thirst traps and their goofy tricks. My skin is thick, plus my heart and brain are smarter than my golden dick. Chick, shut the fuck up and follow the leader. I'm on my way to make more bread than a Walmart greeter. She's a man eater, hauling in some oats. Don't be provoked, just let them choke on their own lies. Slacking up the road. Oops, I should have said line. Hope my shitmates don't mind, but I'm pretty sure the mob is a fine. I'm Kari Soldier, that means kingly soldier. Now you know, when you greet me in the future, don't call me bro. Word, you don't know me like that, dude. 6 feet, man. 6 feet. Back up. Pandemic rules still apply. Fuck out of here.
Peace. What's going on, you guys? How you guys doing today? It's your boy Tavon Johnson, aka Black Ice. We are here on Authentic Talks with Tay, the Regular Guy podcast, and today we have Tony Krane, all the way from Brooklyn, New York, living in Middletown, Delaware. Shout out to Delaware out there. How you guys doing?
Peace,
But
peace, peace.
I will allow Mr. Tony Krane to address the chat and be able to express himself just for a moment. How you feeling, man?
Peace, brother. Peace. Tay, yo. Thank you first of all for having me. It's an honor. Like he said, my name is Tony Krane. I'm actually from the Bronx. I was born in Brooklyn, but I was raised in the Bronx. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right,
Um, but I definitely live down here in Middletown now. Like I said, I'm honored to be on the podcast to talk to your audience, and I'm I'm ready, man. Let's see.
great, great. So, first line of questions. Um, what got you into doing what you do now? Like, where did this all start for you in terms of making music and feeling like this was your calling to kind of go into?
That's a great question. And thanks for asking. So I'm be honest with you. I know a lot of people say that they always wanted to do music, but I was a fan of hip. I'm still in. I still am. I'm a fan of hip hop. I'm a fan of all genres of music. You might think it's funny, but my favorite genre of music is classical. That's what I listen to on a daily basis.
I know that's a good one.
Um, I started. I wasn't rapping until I was about 16. So my uncle, Just Cause, who is an MC, he's
Mhm.
from Brooklyn actually. He was like he always rapped, man. He used to take me to the studio with him back when I was like, I think the first time I was in the studios, I was like 14, back when they was still recording on DAT and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
And I was always a writer, but I love to act more than anything. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I started to listen to Wu Tang more. Um, Around the time when Mace dropped 24 Hours to Live, that's when I actually started writing. 24
okay.
Hours to Live was the first beat that I actually wrote to. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Before that, I was messing around, but I didn't really. I'm gonna be honest with you though. I'm kind of going back and forth, but I didn't really start rapping until I was in high school, and my cousin and my friends were like, if you're gonna fill in the cipher, you have to freestyle.
Right.
And I was like, they was like, you can't partake if you don't spit. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of made me actually start vocalizing. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And then to honest to act to answer your question about what made me actually start rapping, no, and more than just writing because it was a hobby,
Right.
was in the early 2000s when it started to change. You know what I'm saying? When you can really notice the shift from from the hip hop that was inspirational to just kind of madness. I
Hmm.
want to say like it's kind of like anything, and it kind of degraded, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
No, it
And I was
definitely has watered down a lot.
yeah, I stopped listening. So I stopped listening to the radio around that time. I was like, I can't really take it. I don't want to hear it. So I was like, well, I can make better music, in my opinion, than the music that I'm listening to. I would rather listen to myself. And so that's what I did. I started making my own music. And I was like, I'm just gonna listen to my music because it's better than this.
No, I definitely understand that and I respect that. Now, one of the things that I do have to say about your music as well, because first and foremost, um, I had the pleasure of being able to meet you at the Delaware Music Network, um, the open mic night session that they had just had recently in June. Shout out to Joe Bellardo, Delaware Music Network.
Awesome.
You're definitely in the building. I've been with them for quite a while. I want to say like back in 2018, 2019 was when I really started dealing with Joe and Delaware Music Network. But they are a wonderful channel for artists to definitely get themselves heard, be able to put themselves around other artists because I understand like we have this idea that we you can do it by yourself, but we you need a team. You need people around you that are willing to at least support what you're putting out there and um, be 100% behind you.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
but what? So where you gotten to now? Like the well, to go back to Delaware Music Network, like I had the ability to be able to sit, listen to you perform, and of course, you did what you needed to do as an artist. You came to me, we networked, conversation started after that. But like you have something going on right now that like you're in first place for that you're trying to is that over yet or are you still in the runnings? Like how does that work?
No, it's not. Well, firstly, to address the Delaware Music Network, absolutely, I have to give all props and shout out to Joe Bellardo and the people at the Delaware Music Network for just giving me the opportunity. You know what I mean? And to network with people like you. You know, I'm an introvert. I find it hard to reach out. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that having them there has been amazing, and I've just been going since last year. I think maybe October or November I
Hmm.
started, and so like you said, I'm number one right now in my group for the America's Next Top Hitmaker
Hmm.
contest, which is sponsored by Rolling Stone magazine and Global Citizen.
Hmm.
Which so the grand prize is $50,000, a spot in Rolling Stone magazine, and then you get to perform in Times Square at the Global Citizen Festival.
Hmm.
I heard about it. Well, not heard about it, but I found out about it on Instagram, and I filled it out. They asked for a few songs, your email address, your
Hmm.
inspiration for writing, for making music, and that's it. I sent it in,
Right.
and I'll be honest with you, I forgot about it. And then they hit me up, and they were like, you're gonna be one of the people in there." So I
Okay.
was like, and it's awesome. It's completely by the fans. People get
Right.
vote, and it started out as top 20. Now it's down to the top five. I'm number
Right.
one. I'm really appreciative of it. You know what I mean?
How does
It's
it feel, man? How does it feel to be in that position in something that like you kind of just like manifested, like you walked across and like here it is. You
hey,
did you were ready for the opportunity and it worked out for you. Like how does that make the
it
journey
feels
up to
great.
this point?
It feels great. It feels amazing. When my son smiles, when my son heard that I'm number one, he's like, "Dad, that's awesome." It feels good. It really feels good to be able to show him that you can follow your dreams, and you know you can achieve whatever you want. You
Right.
know, it's more. It's better to show him than to tell him. You know what I mean? Because I've
Right.
been speaking this into his life for so long. For him to see it happen is beautiful. And then for me, it's funny because I try to I try to maintain my level of excitement. You know what I mean? Because of these laws of rhythm and whatnot. You know what I mean? I try to, but
Yeah.
can't help but feel elated. You know what I
Right.
mean? I just try to keep it at a level.
Of yeah.
Right.
No, I
That's
respect it. I respect it. But like, um, so the song that we just listened to a while ago is called "Tears of the Sun." Um,
that was
we're-
similar. That
no,
was
I'm
similar.
sorry. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm looking at it right now. That was Similac. But with Similac, uh, why? What made you create Similac, and what was the perspective like on when you were first like starting it? What was the initial message?
Okay, so with Similac,
A lot of time, I'm gonna start with the title. I usually don't start with titles.
Right.
Okay. Um, when I listen to a beat, well, when I listen to beats, first of all, like anybody, like I'm sure you can agree, you got to vibe with it. You know what I mean? You got to feel
Right.
the beat. Um, I I have to. I like to say this, and I there's a song where I mentioned this. Actually, it's not really me consciously writing. You know what I mean? My subconscious is writing. There's a lot of times when I go back and listen to my music, and I'm like, did you really say that? You know what I mean? I'm like, I
Right.
said that. This is happening right now. You know, I just manifested something that I said in my rhymes that I wrote before, and I'm doing it. It's like I don't want to confuse people. You know what I mean? But a lot of my rhymes come to me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm not
Channeling, pretty much.
right, right. Like I'm my inner self. I'm willing myself to make these rhymes,
Right.
but
How
I'm
you?
making. You know what I mean? They're coming out of me. So with Similac though, to answer your question, I was like, music, with Similac, the reason I called it Similac is because, like I said in the song, oral saving for babes in need of oral saving. You know what I mean? I think some people might think I was talking about chicks. That's not what I
Mhm.
meant. I really meant like the the listeners are babies and they need to be fed. So
Yeah.
that's why I call the song Similac, because that's
Yeah.
baby formula for babies. So this music is given the nourishment that people need orally to listen, you know,
Because music is programming. Music is programming. Would you not agree?
I would agree absolutely, completely. So I want people, and then I gotta represent for my neighborhood, my street. I grew up on 80 Avenue, you know, and I'm just keeping it real. Most of my songs always come out to me, no matter what I start doing in the beginning of the song. I always start to teach or something. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we are, man. In that, I feel like in that position, like um, we don't. Not that we don't, but some people do not respect the role of like being an MC, being having the ability to have the power of the mic and wielding your words in a way that will build instead of destroy.
mm,
Even though I understand that there are times for destruction, but
mm,
like there is a way that we have to go about. I feel that there is a way that we have to go about how we use our words to be able to touch our fans. We Some people, yes, we know that they do it just for the money. We know that it is just for, show. But others like who really get it, like how we were talking about earlier, when you know something, you know something. When you know something that other people don't know, but you know that it is something that you don't have to explain, like
mm.
a little bit of what we were talking about earlier in terms of like people. We'll say that. We'll say that. That's a nice question, but
Oh, yeah, come on, let's talk about
uh,
it.
it just like people want a perfect idea of the world. People want to believe in what we're being sold. People want to believe that what's going on, there is a possibility of it being able to be prevented, when in reality most of the information that we are given is really at a place where there's nothing you can do about it, but we just wanted to let you know after you can't do anything about it. But
Right.
with your music, going back to that, one of the things that I do like appreciate the most, because I myself as well do the same. I may have moments where I curse in real life, but I really do care about not cursing in my music. I don't, and it may seem like a little thing to other people, but it's like when you understand the power of words, like you understand the law of vibration, the law of cause and effect, the law of uh, the conservation in terms of equal exchange, like you have to give something in order to get something. And if I'm giving you negative energy, how do I expect to get a level of positive energy out of you if I am giving you poison? The same way that they feed us poison, they give us levels of indoctrination and programming that we don't really realize. Um, and I appreciate the fact that you make the music that you make in the manner that you make it. I have to give you my flowers on your flowers on that, because like it is dying out. It is we are losing the ability to communicate in a more intelligent way that allows people to grow instead of stay stagnant. So definitely thank you for continuing to do that and not giving up on that, because you are in your 40s, right? And you're
Yes.
still out here rapping, and you're not just rapping without purpose. Like that could be felt. That is something that, you know, is I feel as though it's very important outside of the money. Everybody is definitely trying to make money and be successful, but like I was saying to you when we were talking earlier, I believe the true essence of hip hop is was to teach. The true essence of what it was created for was to be able to talk to everyone in a way, in these levels of parables that will be able to, hit whatever perspective that was around in terms of the multitude of individuals that were able to understand the cipher. Now, if you could get these codes, if you could understand the light codes of what the individual is speaking on, it will be able to, you know, enlighten you if you allow it to enlighten you. But I want to play one of your other songs, if you don't mind, real quick, just so people can kind of understand what I'm speaking about. But this song that I'm going to play is going to be "Rock with Me." Um, I'm going to save "Tears of the Sun" next, because I'll let you talk about that. But with "Rock with Me," um, what is "Rock with Me" about? Like, what is the message that you're trying to convey in this song?
Okay, so Rock With Me Integrity is that song. First of all, it's called Rock With Me because, I want people to rock, rock with me. But I had it was either gonna be Integrity with Rock With Me in parentheses, or Rock With Me in, well, it came out Rock With Me Integrity. The
Hmm.
integrity part is basically because, well, because these brothers that I mentioned in the song, I feel like they betrayed us. I'm fans of, we're all fans of icons,
Hmm.
legends, rap game. You know what I mean?
For sure.
With sleep, listening to these people music. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I wish I could do this. Wish I could do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they say things, and you expect these people to stand on it. We're supposed to stand 10 toes down on what we say as men.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? As men, if I say something, my word is supposed to be my bond.
Right.
Then you had people that, when the toupee, this idiot, 47, you know what I'm saying, got back in office, people are like, don't do this, don't do this, or you're gonna be a clown, you a jigaboo, or whatever, whatever. And then they turn around and do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like we have to have it, like you said, it's not about the money. It can't be about the money. you know, we're as artists, we're supposed to be, especially as music artists, especially in our culture, we're
Hmm.
supposed to be here to give voice to the pain, to inspire, to speak about what's really happening out here, and we're supposed to be at odds against these enemies that are very vocal about being our enemies. They don't hide it. You know what I mean? They don't care
Right.
about it. And my song was meant to, first of all, inform people because a lot of people don't know about the 13th Amendment. A lot of people don't know that there's an exception clause in the 13th Amendment. People think that slavery ended. You got a whole lot of people that celebrate Juneteenth as the end of slavery when
Right.
slavery ended. So Juneteenth is a myth. There's nothing to celebrate because the 13th Amendment, its exception clause, made slavery legal if you were convicted of a crime. So slavery
Right.
never, you know what I mean? I say that. You got you got ICE out here kicking down doors and it's you being black bag pretty much. It's just like the
Right.
Gestapo. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's crazy out here. The song,
So,
it's meant to inspire and inform and all of that stuff.
all right. So before I get into the song, because you kind of touched on it, I do have one question. Like, how do you feel about the declaration of war, and what are some of the perspectives that can be focused on in this time that would be able to help us prepare for this moment? Like, uh, I I knew this was going to happen. If that really makes sense. Like, I knew that this is where we were headed towards. Do I agree with what's going on? I definitely don't, and I don't understand why we are in a war that I don't feel as though we should be a part of. But I am an outsider, common civilian that does not know all that goes on within the world. But at the same time, I don't think like going to go and pick on somebody because they have weapons like we do is a reason to go and start war.
Well, I'll say this. Like you said, I saw it coming. I mean, you have to be kind of blind and or naive to have not seen it coming. And you didn't ask this, but I don't know if you knew, but I'm a war veteran. I was in the
Thank you
Navy.
for serving. Thank you for serving.
No doubt. I was in Iraqi freedom. You know what I mean? So, I have friends that are still in the military, and unfortunately, here they go. They're back. They're back in it. You know what I'm saying? And then not to mention the fact that we all just found out yesterday that this guy just bombed Iran. You know what I mean? It's
Yep.
it's sad. It's crazy, but it wasn't expected. I feel like it shouldn't be. That's how I feel. As far as what can be focused on, I think people need to. What will help us is if we can guard our spirits. You know what I mean? Because a lot of this is propaganda based and fear based, and they're
I
using
can
that
agree with that.
energy for all type of nefarious reasons. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got people with opinions for no reason. They don't even know why they feel this way. They're just going off sound bites on what this person and that person is saying.
Right.
Meanwhile, we still here suffering. You know, everything that's going on over there to the Palestinians, it's been happening for generations. They are out here cleansing and colonizing and doing all types of madness. And it's like you said, there's absolutely nothing we can do about it, really, because they have all of this power. This is nothing new. All of these plans have been centuries in the making. We just don't know it or
Yeah.
realize it.
It's just
It,
like playing chess.
it's self-perpetuating at this point. You're right. They make moves hundreds of years in advance. You know what I mean? And while we're sitting here unprepared, but it's all purposeful. While we're sitting here worried about ICE snatching people up, or we're sitting here worried about having to deal with murderous pigs. You know what I mean? That what time do we even? Most people don't even have the time to be
No,
concerned about what's going
because
on.
they're too busy working their 9 to 5 lives or working like 10, 12 hour shifts. Can't
Right.
even,
And
get
listening
home.
and listening to madness and watching madness on TV. So people are just blind. They're just they don't know. They don't know what to think or how to feel half the time. And
No,
that's very
definitely.
sad. That's how I feel. And that's why I make the music that I make.
Right.
Because that's how we should have music that's informative, that people can listen to and be like, I understand that. And not just the music that's talking to the people that are on the corners. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to be talking to everybody. Well, but
Yeah.
that don't even matter, because when we were growing up, I know when I was growing up and when you were growing up, even the people on the corner listened to music that was revolutionary and actual good music, because these people weren't out here hustling and doing what they had to do because they wanted to do it. Most people were doing it because they had no other option. You know what I
Right.
mean? Now it
Right.
seems like you got a whole lot of rappers out here that are making money and then they do the madness. I don't
That
understand
makes
it.
no sense. But I mean, is that's a hard one there because like I do understand it. Like I sit and I think about it too. Like I've said to people before, like I cannot, as a person, as an artist, I cannot invalidate someone's experience, whether they are capping in their rap or not. Like that some people, well, we know of industry plants and things like that, but
Mm,
like with the industry plants who are there to shape the narrative, or the not even just the narrative, but to shape the people, because at the end of the day, it is about the minds. It is about the way that we process information and the way that we are perceiving it, which is what creates the outcome of what ends up happening.
absolutely.
So if they have the ability to make us listen to a specific level vibrational frequency and force us to listen to it, monitor what happens while we're doing it. Like they cloned Tyrone. Have you seen
Yes.
that?
I was just about to say that.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
That's crazy. Like when I sat and I watched that movie, and it's like, really think about how that could be. You wake up every day, you do the same routines, you do what you are commonly used to, you go down the same routes every day, and you create this habitual pattern, because we humans are habitual creatures.
Mhm.
And, we don't think about the level of repetitiveness to where it becomes a functionality in our being. And now it's like, it takes someone outside of the matrix to be able to let you know, hey, you do this constantly, right? You know that this is not how this is supposed to be. But in that
Right.
movie, dog, it was the chicken. They put it in the chicken. It was the
They put it in the
music.
hair.
It
They
was
put
the
it.
hair products for women.
Yeah.
Like, we don't really see how they are telling us, like, what has been done, what could be done. Like, crazy, crazy. But we shall go into Rock With Me, and then we'll continue on with the podcast. But this is this is
Yeah. Rock with me. The toupee's back. Oh snap, I probably could've said that for the end of the track, but the poop has hit the fan and boy is it flying. I would be really remiss if I started this rhyme without speaking on the climate. Neo-Nazis out here wildin'. Your baby mama's twerking while you're tricking and profiling. They claim the blacks are racist. Use your common sense. Racism systemic, bro, we've barely got the sense to fund our own parties, pay for any lobbyists, build our own hospitals, or purchase huge tracts of land. We're in an uphill battle. It's been this way since they treated us like chattel. FYI, yeah, I know they say I prattle, but the 13th Amendment means we have to win this battle. The 14th Amendment's under attack, dude. What you gonna do when Gestapo's at your door with plans to black bag you? Here comes the killer MC with integrity. Yo, peep this real MC writing the melody. You really rock with this cat with no felonies? No cap, he can't be real, so what's he telling me? Here comes the killer MC with integrity. Yo, peep this real MC writing the melody. You really rock with this cat with no felonies? No cap, he can't be real, so what's he telling me? They claim we are the enemy. Well, 47 damn sure ain't a friend to me. Somebody tell that to Snoop and Nelly respectfully. Don't be respectful though, tell them there's some silly hoes and you should shout it at their shows. It's like they never were the bros. Just jigaboos, dancing jig in fancy shoes. Legendary fools, I'ma state the rules. Never negotiate your fame for the greenback homes. But it's too late, we see the swine on your plate. All us real ones cannot relate. Ain't no pork on my fork, I do not care if you say I hate. It's time to set the record straight by stopping all the wobbling. From OG job turkeys, man, I swear I hear them gobbling. You see him hobbling, time to take a seat. Crane's leading the charge for the new school, I'm elite. And that's a daunting feat, while I'm still under the radar in these hip-hop streets. Now come rock with me. Here comes the killer MC with integrity. Yo, peep this real MC writing the melody. You really rock with this cat with no felonies? No cap, he can't be real, so what's he telling me? Here comes the killer MC with integrity. Yo, peep this real MC writing the melody. You really rock with this cat with no felonies? No cap, he can't be real, so what's he telling me?
I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
Sir.
All right. So that is Are you ever afraid of what may come out of what you do and the things you say or in the people that may be listening? Do you ever get that feeling in your chest that, someone may ever try to stop you from trying to spread the word the way that you are?
I'm never afraid because I'm never afraid, but I won't say I never think about it.
Right.
I think about it because I have to be realistic.
Right.
They kill our prophets. Historically, anybody that speaks against the narrative is putting themselves in danger. But I'm like, one thing I accepted a long time ago was what Malcolm said. It's like, yo, if you're going to talk about freedom, and I'm not speaking, I'm speaking out of, I'm not saying it verbatim, but
Right.
you gotta, if you're going to be afraid, you might as well get freedom out of your mouth. Don't even speak about freedom if you're going to be afraid of the outcome. So I'm like, look, I'm going to do this. Now, I don't care if it's politics or people in the industry. If they got something to say, I'm going to stand on what I said. If they're going to, they gatekeep it anyway. So, I mean, if they get mad and they hear about it and they want to try whatever, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
saying real because that's what needs to be said. You know what I mean? So, like I said what I said about Snoop and Nelly because literally Snoop, because he literally said, yo, if you perform for Trump, then you a jigaboo. And I'm like, well, you perform for Trump, my guy. What's up with that? You know what I'm saying? And I don't care. What are they gonna do? What's the worst they can do to me? What, they gonna kill me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you ain't gonna shut me up. You know what I mean? You're gonna make me a martyr at the end of the day, and whatever. I'm gonna do this. I'm
Right.
gonna do this because I have to do it. I have to do it. I can't not do this. You know what I mean? Like, this is what's in me. This is what's in me. I have to get it out. I can't keep it in me. Oh, what am I doing out here? I'm gonna go crazy. That's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go crazy, bro.
No. Well, they want us to go crazy anyway. They want us to, be at odds with each other, and they want us to do the dirty work for them so that they can have an excuse to put martial law out in place and, put things. It's these systems, bro. There's so many different systems at play that we all don't realize like are really at play,
Mm,
and um, everybody's eventually gonna have to pick a side soon.
you're right. You know what? Um, if I may, if I may, I have to give props to a couple brothers
For
that
sure.
have played an instrumental role in my life. The first being brother Tashaka Sumani, who I met in Ohio. I live next door to his daughter. And this is when I first took my son. I'm a single dad. I've been a single dad since my son was 6 months old. He's 15 now.
Peace, respect to that, man.
Thank you. But brother Tashaka introduced me to the UNIA ACL, the United Negro Improvement Association African Committees League, created by Marcus Garvey. Um, that's the black government. So because of him, I was introduced to a lot of knowledge that I wasn't previously aware of. You know what I mean?
Right.
He really helped me focus on where I needed to be focused. You know what I mean? And he's mainly out in Ghana these days doing the
Mhm.
work over there. You know what I
Right.
mean? He's in the trenches for real. The brothers are he's something special. The other one is brother Max Parthis, who is a spoken word poet and the founder of the um the abolitionist. He is a slavery abolitionist. The the name of the corporation, I just it's escaping me right now.
Right.
But
It's okay.
this brother is the entire reason that I even know about the 13th Amendment and the exception clause. This
Right.
brother
Now,
has
what is the 13th Amendment and exception clause? Please do explain.
okay, so I used to know the 13th Amendment verbatim. Don't don't fault me for that right now. Um right now I'm going to go ahead and I want to read it verbatim. But the 13th Amendment of the Constitution, that's what I'm talking about, reads as such: neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment. Now, here's the thing: except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. So, as you can see, there's an exception clause in there when it says except. So as long as you have been convicted of a crime in the United States or any of its jurisdictions, you can be made a slave or a what is it? Indentured servant. Oh, oh, something happened to the stream. I don't know what happened to the stream.
I'm sorry. The
No, you good.
we had a problem.
You good. Are
Technical
we still
difficulties.
are we still live? It's all good.
Yes, we are still live.
Okay. So do I need to repeat that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Absolutely. No doubt. So like the 13th Amendment of the Constitution. It's what I'm when I mention the 13th Amendment, I'm talking about of the Constitution. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people, a lot of us grew up reading it, and but we don't learn something very, very simple and critical. It reads, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Basically saying that they didn't end slavery, they just abolished
Changed
it
it.
unless you get charged for a crime,
Right.
which led to Jim Crow, which led to um, convict leasing and all of that. That's why we're disproportionately jailed because they make money off of bodies in jail. That's why there are private prisons out here.
Private. Listen, I was gonna say something about that. The private prison
Right.
industry,
This
like,
is Max Parthas is the reason why I know that, and that brother has he has a spoken word track on my album, The Cure. It's called
mhm,
Who Am I? If you listen to The Cure in Who Am I plays, that's Max. That's his spoken word.
mhm.
He's a legend, award winning. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. But thank you. I just wanted to give. I had to
Got to
give
get
that.
that knowledge for sure. No, we definitely need that because, like, with the prison industry. I've had this conversation with people before, and I was explaining to them like how you've got these people that own prisons that are not owned by our states and governments, and these people are looking at the prison industry just like any other regular business. If the prison is the storehouse, that means that that storehouse needs product, right? And
That's
so, in order for that product to exist, they have to create reasons for that product to be even put in prison, right? So, here we have the perpetuation of the music. We have the exploitation of music that is not meant to be glorified, because I do believe that there are a lot of artists out here that make gangster music or things like that to teach as well from the perspective that they are in, and they
absolutely
try to make people understand that this isn't the way that you want to go about it. But at the same time, I believe that the world is also still embodying that type of lifestyle in a different way that creates, it's like the opposite, like they're manifesting the opposite of what is supposed to happen. But you see it enough, because I can't sit and act like I've not been affected, like I've not been a product of my environment. Like, I see what has been around me. I understand that I have been cultured into the way that I perceive reality based off of my family members, the way that, we had to live in the area that we lived in. And if you lived in that area and, you're growing up around poverty, you're growing up around drugs, you're growing up around certain, levels of things that you don't see in suburban neighborhoods.
right.
You don't see it in a way that is like visually in your face, and that desensitizes some. Like, we get to a place of not caring about another life because, hey, people die every day. And
Right.
I think, like, even with that, like, down to this war, like, I just don't think that it has to come down to that. I believe that we could definitely solve things, or could have solved things differently.
Well, at the end of the day, um, when I talk about it, and I talk about it quite often, not as often as I really dislike politics. I detach myself from it as much as I
Yep.
can. But my brothers, especially my brother Omar, he's he's very into it. You know what I mean? We've been friends since the Navy, so I still talk about it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I eventually and what I come to believe is I hesitate to say we because I'm like I had absolutely nothing to do with it. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I know that at the end of the day, the reasoning that we're being told is not the real reason why. It's always something about money. You know what I mean? Power.
Information,
Right. They got
resources.
resources. Exactly. You know, they got so many people out here believing this two-party paradigm, which is absolute nonsense because you can say it's a two-party paradigm, but when it's really just two people, it's like if you and I were driving across the country and I'm gonna drive this leg, you're gonna drive the next leg. We're going the same exact direction, but we're taking different roads to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Same time we sitting there arguing about we got them people in the back seat talking about who's the best driver. Oh, I like this one. But we're going to the same place, so there's really no point in arguing. You know what I mean? We as a matter of fact, I won't even say driving across the country. We're driving off a cliff. You know what I'm saying? And we're the people in the back seat are not trying to get out of the car. They're just arguing who's getting there faster. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like really, it's ridiculous. You know, it's and it's sad that a lot of people don't see it because but there's so many different intricacies in play at the same time. It's just the water is muddy, bro. It's so loud out here. It's never
It's never
quiet.
quiet.
I I
It's
was
never quiet.
I'm playing Cyberpunk 2077 right now, right?
Right.
And I was just thinking, I was like, bro, that game is so loud. Like, I turned the music off. And this I know this is off, but I'm like, it's just like real life where you go outside. Well, not here, but when I was in New York, bro, it's always loud.
Mm.
I'm grateful now that I don't hear sirens all
Yes. In the
day.
city, that's all you hear, nothing but sirens and gunshots.
You know, I never it's so loud. It's never quiet. You never have time to just think. It's just all given to you. We're always on our phones, you know, we're always watching something, which is whatever, you know,
But I
we do.
also believe that's what it's meant to do. Like, it's the phone was meant to keep us. I mean, I don't believe it was meant completely. I believe that there were good things that the phone was meant to do, in terms of help us get things done faster, do things in a specific way, get things done simpler. I get that, but at the same time, it is a very big distraction. It is like the killer of motivation and ambition if you are not using it as the proper tool that it actually is.
And most people aren't because we carry a computer in our pocket and nobody's researching, nobody's learning. You have a computer in your pocket. It's the craziest thing in the world, and people don't use it for that. They
No,
rather,
they use it for everything else.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So the next song that I definitely wanted to play is Tears of the Sun. Would you like to give us a synopsis on Tears of the Sun? What made you create Tears of the Sun and the perspective that was given for this?
Okay, yeah. First of all, though, I want to just Max is the national campaign coordinator at Abolish Slavery National Network, and
Okay.
they have helped a number, an impressive number. I don't know the exact number of states remove slavery from their state constitutions. Yes, they
Wow.
work. Yeah, at least 8 states, if I'm not mistaken, so far,
Okay.
and still more in the works. Okay,
That's
so
good. Shout out
thank
to
you.
them. Shout out to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. So with Tears of the Sun, I made this song because um I noticed that I hadn't been I'm very like I said before, I'm very introverted. I usually don't talk too much about my own experiences. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that's why in the hook, that's why I made the hook the way I made it, and people will hear it. It's not really a hook. I was talking, you know what I mean, about my influences and stuff like that. And it the beat just drew me, man. Um, I have Tears of the Sun wasn't made by my boy Willie Shaw. That's my cousin actually, but he made the beat to Rock With Me and a Classified intro, and he's making a lot of the beats on my new album. This one was made by my dude Mercenary. They both live in Ohio. I used to live in Ohio for a while. My son's actually born in Ohio, but the beat made me just. I felt like I had
Yeah,
to.
bro, that beat is crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that junk crazy.
So I had to speak about certain things, man. Especially about these other rappers. You know what I mean? Like this whole grimy, like everybody wants to be savage. You know what I mean? As if that's what it's supposed to be, and it's not, you know? So that was my inspiration. My inspiration was to clarify who I am and why I do this thing.
Okay. Well, we're definitely gonna tune into it. See what they say.
Give me mine, they on demon time. I'm a steady rhyme, plus I feel inclined to quote Coach Prime. When it comes to time, wasn't taught to manage mine. Still I climb up the first rung. This song was unsung. Now I'm crooning, up the ladder I go. Chanting notes, my winter coat is thick as Steve Chicago. 2001, when I landed on my way to Great Lakes to fight a war I never wanted, for a people who never wanted me to breathe air, play fair, that's all we ever hear. In these goddamn streets, I got these beats, and I bet to break all your goddamn teeth. So don't bite me, get to writing all your own lines. In due time, you'll develop all the skills to write your own rhymes, then you'll shine. I developed hella schemes to use my melanin for better things. This king is set up screens to protect his legacy from meddling. Peddling scammers and half-steppers. You know I rep the X and doomsday preppers.
Yo, I remember as I was growing up, I would listen to cats like Rakim, Biggie, and Eminem spit, and I'd be like, yo, I wish I could do that. Now, shit, I visualize rocking a full capacity crowd on a daily basis.
Word to Mom Dukes, I was sent to save you. And brave for hate the fakes can create to put breaks in my plans, Duke. Damn you, weak MCs to the depths and the bowels of Hades. All you rappers are shady, but not the slim kind. I blind women without bling, cause I sling words, and when in battle they go ching. Here's the thing, I'm on the paper route, I suggest you get out my way. Krane is like, hey Marco, the unstoppable juggernaut is here. Never fear, dear, just steer clear. Those in the rear, buckle up, this ride can be near fatal or fuck you up. Bubble gut flows, I shit on beats and I'm not discreet. I make it funky, bruh, I'm James Brown at 43. You'll remember me henceforth as the best man. Super single dad with a ton of plans and no capital. That's what I'm rapping for, cause once I blow, it's up, fam. Kyrie T-Time music for the label, just give it up.
And that's why I do this, fam. I'm leaving a legacy for my children's 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 children. You feel me? It's real talk.
I'm on my new shit. Cherish me for more gifts. I just put the vices down while AJ plays guitar riffs. Carry on, chick. I ain't got no time for Kim Kardashian faces. A space with BBLs all up in my face. So go fix your lace. Front and I'll be on my mace. Never been in favor of girls leading men. That's not your place. Recognize a king. You don't have to kiss the ring. Just shut the hell up, pretty up, and follow in my wake. I'm headed to the top. You can let your panties drop, but that won't guarantee you get meat from me. God damn it, stop. Have more pride for self. Krane is here to build up wealth, not deal with silliness, insecurity, or selfishness. Get your life together. Learn to weather all your storms. Blessings come in many forms. Tony's just the perfect one. In conclusion, babe, you're looking at a total wave. Grab your surfboards and bikinis. Let's have an awesome day. Yeah, I ain't got no time for that bullshit, fam. These fools done flip the script, and these broads out here think shit is sweet. I'm sour as fuck. Best man on earth. Super single dad. Watch this legacy build. With you or without you. It's crazy.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about my military. I don't talk about it a lot, my time in the military.
Right. Go
Yeah.
ahead. You have the floor. So tell me about it.
Oh, I mean the military. Oh, I meant in the song, but the military man was crazy. You know,
Was that something that you uh is that something that you would ever do if you had to go back again?
absolutely not. I don't. I would not encourage anyone to join the military. The funny thing is, I've been against the military industrial complex and all of this forever. Even when I joined the Navy, I was against it. I joined out of necessity, not believing that there would be a war because there hadn't been a war since the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, bro, I can do 4 years. I'll be out of there. I set myself up. I do a real quick stint in the Navy, go visit some countries.
Right.
Bro, I joined in May of 2001. I was out of boot camp for 2 weeks, bro. 2 weeks before the World Trade Center got hit. 2 weeks. I was literally on a training mission, and then all of a sudden I woke up in the nine
Yeah.
11. So, um, no, I wouldn't do it. I don't look, and that's not like I'm a patriot. I love my country. I hate my government. You know what I mean? I
I
would not
understand that.
fight this government, but I will defend my country tooth and nail. You know what I'm saying? My people, the people that live here, I will, but I don't want to fight for this fascist regime. I don't want to do that. You know what I
Right.
mean? But if I had to go, like, if something drastic happened, I'm
Do
not
you
gonna say
think
I'll
that they may potentially like start drafting?
initiate another draft. I see it possible. I see it being very possible. My thing is, things have gotten so lax in the military. I don't feel comfortable joining with crybabies. When I was in there, people weren't. It was hard. I had to depend on this next man or woman to save my life, not argue with whoever's giving the order, not say you're screaming at me. I don't like you. You're making me feel bad the way you're screaming at me. Man, who cares? As far as the Navy's concerned, if we gotta fill a hole because there's a hole in the side of the ship, we don't have time to worry about your feelings when I'm yelling at you to get over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't. I'm uncomfortable with that, man. But I hope it doesn't happen. I tell you that
Okay.
much.
Right.
I hope.
Right.
I really hope it doesn't happen. I hope a draft doesn't come. That's one thing.
Right.
It would be drastic, man. But who knows what's gonna happen with these maniacs?
It's messy, man. It's a really, really messy situation, and like you said as well. I really don't care for politics too much. I understand that there are always roles and hierarchies at play, and these are things that we're never going to be able to get around. Um, but I just try to focus on myself, what I could do within my home, what I'm able to do within, the circumference of the people that are around me at that time, and be able to. I just like you said, there's not much that we can do except for watch everything crumble, watch the world do what it does, and just try to stay out of it as much as possible,
And
stay out of
prepare.
the way.
and prepare. You know what? I'm sorry, I didn't answer your question earlier fully. To prepare, we got to be prepared mentally and spiritually because really that's the war. You know what I'm saying? We have to be prepared. We can try to be as prepared as we can physically. Like, what you're gonna stockpile stuff? I mean,
Right.
that's a hit or miss. You know what I mean? But are you prepared for what's gonna happen mentally and spiritually though? You know what I mean? Are you gonna? I don't know. I see these, but you see videos of you know Palestinians and or whoever, whatever part of the world you're in, Africa, where these wars happen and they don't tell us about it. When you see people that have lost their entire families, you know, watch them held their bodies and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And that's a level of reality that a lot of people aren't ready for. But realistically, a lot of us in the in ghettos and these low income neighborhoods, we deal with that. We deal
We
with
deal with war every day.
every day. They don't talk about the PTSD that we deal with. You know what I
No,
mean? They don't talk about that. We've been seeing our people die on TV, no cut, no R ratings, you know what I'm saying? On repeat for how long?
to be traumatized and continually reconditioned with that level of trauma, and to keep you in a state of perpetual anger that eventually, like you said, you get desensitized about being angry. Now it's just a level of exhaustion. Now it's just, you're doing what you have to do to get by without uh shaking the ground too much and just trying to stay out of the way. But it's like, for how long? How long is that going to work?
I mean, like James Baldwin said, to be black in America is to be in a conscious state of rage, constant state of rage. Every time we hear a siren or see a cop, we get a spike of anxiety. That is
That's a
crazy.
fact. No, that's
It's
a fact. And it's like, you don't even have to be doing anything nefarious. Bro, I could be legitimately sitting in the car, uh, listening to music, or just whatever. It don't matter. You see one and it's just like,
mm,
are you gonna mess with me today? Are you
right.
going to, you know, uh create something? And I think, yeah, we do it to ourselves sometimes due to the level of trauma. We kind of put ourselves in that state of fear. But like, because I'm not going to sit here and act like every cop is a bad cop. I do believe that there are very good cops that are in the force that I know of as well, that do try to do right by the people, and try to, make a good name for themselves and such. But at the same time, we live in a world where really most of that doesn't matter. And I think that, like, we're getting to a place of people really being starting to see that we have not we've not been cared about the way that we think that we have. It's just, um is it a prophecy if I come up to you and I tell you that one day you're gonna wake up, and when you wake up, you're gonna go to the corner of the street, and when you go to the corner of the street, you know, you're gonna get hit by a car or something crazy,
Mm.
and you wake up and that stuff ends up happening to you, but it doesn't happen to you by coincidence. I called somebody to hit you with the car. But is that a prophecy?
No, that's not a prophecy. Yeah, it's not. That's not a prophecy. If you made it happen,
So I feel like a lot of this right now that's going on is prophecies, self prophecies that have been orchestrated in a way that we think are prophecies, but it's just premeditated stuff that you're not privy of. Like, you don't, when you work at a job and you're a crew member, you don't get manager access. You don't get shift leader access.
right?
you only get privy to the knowledge that is presented to you. And I think people are doing a very good job at staying vigilant now. They're really paying attention to some things. But I think that because of people's religion, because of people's, preference on certain things, it also prevents them from seeing the totality of the situation due to their beliefs that something couldn't happen.
It's funny you said a lot right there, and I'm gonna try and hit on those points too. As far as belief, right? I have a favorite book series called The Sword of Truth by Terry Goodtime.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's something in there called Wizards. They have rules. It's a fantasy novel. So the wizard's first rule is people will believe anything because they either fear it to be true or they want it to be true.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like you saying with the self-perpetuating prophecies, you know what I'm saying? That's all mental. You know, you're
Yeah.
so afraid you're subconsciously you believe it's gonna happen, so it happens. And now you're like, oh well look, no. You made that happen. You know what I'm saying? You made that happen yourself. You know
Right.
what I mean? So um I can't even rock with that. I don't rock with any religions because they're all enslaver religions as far as I'm concerned. They're all enslaver based. Even though I was raised Christian, I was raised in the
So
church.
is raised. Yeah.
Literally read the Bible forwards and backwards. Literally, you know what I'm saying? I I dropped that a few times in my youth. Came into I went around the gamut searching for truth. You know what I'm saying?
Same. Trust
And,
me.
and
I know what you mean.
yeah, you know, what we talking about? Hare Krishnas? We talking about Rosicrucianism? What are we talking about?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Um, I got I was given knowledge of self by my cousin. You know what I'm saying? When I was a teenager, I had to drop all of that because it all stems from enslaver based religions that want nothing but to control us and lead us to doom or whatever they want. You know what I'm saying?
To
So,
lead us where they need us to be for
right.
their own level of consumption. Because at the end of the day, you're either a creator or you're a consumer. You're either the person creating the product or you're the person consuming the product. And you could use that in any microcosmic or macrocosmic situation. Like there's always going to be that level of energy of exchange you have to give in order to get. So it's either do you become the creator of whatever, which we also see that, or do we choose to continue to be silent and just consume without a level of um, conscious thought? We consume so much, and don't realize how much we actually consume, especially statistically compared to other countries.
Right. And it's all food, no matter what it is. It's
Yep.
all food. You know what I'm saying? So to your point about pigs, I I don't believe there are good cops because I believe there are good people. I believe that there are some good people, but there are probably many good people that are cops. You know what I'm saying? But I don't believe in I think good cop is an oxymoron because at the end of the day, they're all on the same squad and it's all a gang. You know what I mean? I don't believe that the I don't believe that police can be infiltrated. I mean, I know a lot of people out here have good hearts and they think they can do their best, but at the end of the day,
Everybody got a price.
come on, man, I can't I just can't rock with I can't rock with slave catchers. You know what I mean? That's what they are. That's what they do. That's what they're here for. I can't forget how many cops quit. And what was that? 2021? How many cops quit, bro? And they were forming. People are not aware of all of these militias that have been formed by racist Nazi cops, man. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of skinheads out here with military training. If there was a war in the streets, really, there's a it's gonna be a hard win. You know what I'm saying? Because these people are
Trained.
well trained and very prejudiced. You know, white supremacy, racism, you know, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson and Neely Fully Jr. coined the definition that I like to use for racism, which is racism is systemic. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
the system it controls whether people can succeed financially, have access to medical, good education, all of these systems that are controlled to keep a race of people subjugated. You know,
Right.
I don't believe it's, oh, I don't like this person because their skin is black. That's not racism.
It's
That's
real effing
oppression.
whack.
Yeah. Word. So, these systems are out here to keep us all blind and stumbling. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely do agree. I do agree. But I had to say that because it is real effing whack. And we're going to listen to a song that talks about it being real effing whack.
Right.
So RER, man, please tell me about RER and what inspired the cultivation of this song.
Man, RER is like one of my favorite songs off my debut album, The Cure. And like I just had to go hard on it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I was like, yo, um, I gotta speak about the truth always. And I dropped this song when it was still Biden and Kamala in office. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I was talking about them hard body. You know what I mean? Because of how many black people, black males in particular, they put behind bars. You know what I'm saying?
That's a whole nother conversation there. Like, oh my goodness, dog.
Both of them, both of them, especially the female.
Yeah.
He was wilding. You know
The
what I'm
prison
saying?
reform bill was crazy.
But so yeah, I and it's real. Like I said, real effing rap, man. I had to. This is rap. This is real rap. You know what I mean? That's like bars that make you nod your head, that might make you break your neck. You know what I'm saying? And still give you the information. You know what I'm saying? Like you can relate to it, and it's giving you the information that you need. Maybe you didn't know. Now you can go look into this. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah.
Right.
So
So it's RER stands for real effing rap.
real effing rap. Yes.
All right. All right. I got you. So RER by Mr. Crane.
Hardcore raps, I still spit that. Wolf that gets under your skin, that boom bap. My heart never lacks. My wisdom reacts. This is an all-out attack on the track. I break backs, I state facts. All 50 states hate blacks. Or the US will have free healthcare. Now take that, put it in your pipe, light it. Obi-Wan was knighted. Sir Alec Guinness, pass me a Guinness. You lady killers are finished. My appearance means your rules soon diminish. This Roman omen descended from a Roman named Severus. Is garrulous when he raps, with callousness on the back. The integrity to stick with your gun is something you lack. They criticize my swagger with eyes sharp as daggers. Penetrating stares, assassinate while on the air. Become aware, that's precisely what AI is bound to do. And when it does, Sophia Stewart's who I'm running to. Ooh, real effing rap. 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 Maliciously vicious with venomous intent in tenements. Some of us spent then go missing for months. It's evident the president and his partner are authors of black suffering. This music I provide is truly meant to be buffering the trauma, constant police drama. Worry about your mama, scared for your kids. However can we live? I feel like from the streets. I feel my spirit with this beat. Wipe the sheen from your brow. Stand up now. Dig deep within yourself and find the strength to go on. Face a new dawn. When knowledge is born, you're no longer forlorn. With wisdom adorned, understand what you're wielding. Spirit is power bottled up inside your vessel. Activate your latent powers and manifest your own rescue from the wilderness inside. This war is for our minds. Tonight's the night for all to join the fight to stay alive. Real effing rap. 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 Real effing rap.
Man, so do you still love music the way that like you did when you like from the beginning? Has been with all of the changes, with the stuff that's been going on in the industry, with everything like that has transpired. Um, Me personally, like I feel like I say this like jokingly to a degree. I feel because I feel like I'll never stop making music, but I feel like I might got one or two real good albums left in me before I just go silent and like not silent, but working in the background in other ways,
Okay.
just because I feel like the music today has like the music is not dead. Music is not dead, but I still feel like the stuff that we listen to today does not have the same level of substance that is like, yeah, I can continue to make music to, you know, fight the good fight, but the love of it to try to be in the spotlight the way that everyone else is like trying so hard to do, I really don't care for.
Mm,
But I still love music.
right.
So I'm just curious, like for you, do you still have that same like passion as you did when you were 13, 16? Now that you are in your 40s and you've seen the level of digression of what you came into.
Honestly, yes, but I'm gonna explain it to you. Um, it's not the same though. It's a mature passion. Okay, it's a mature love.
Hmm.
I love it for different reasons now. See, when
Hmm.
I was younger, I didn't know what I know now. You know what I mean? I don't love the music that's out there. I love I love hip hop because of what it is, what it's supposed to be, and as an arbiter, as a protector of it, as an MC, I love it and I feel like I have to protect it. I love making music. You know what I'm saying? I love it.
Yeah, yeah.
When
I
I
know that
see
feeling.
when I see how people react to my music, I'm still I have a lot of polishing up to do as far as performing is concerned. You know what I mean?
Right,
I love it though. You know what I'm saying? I love when people have a positive reaction to my music because it was the scariest thing in the world for me to actually start
right,
doing it, you know, and put
right.
myself out there. But to see the reaction that I get, especially overseas, man, I don't get the reaction that I get in the
No,
States from people.
overseas will always show more love because they
Bro,
kind of they're not that they respect. Well, yeah, they kind of they do respect
they
music a little
respect
bit differently.
authentic hip hop. They are like,
Yes,
oh, yes. They like, man, your music is dope. And they feel it. They feel it for all of the right reasons. So back when I was younger, you know, I always wanted to get big and I thought signing a deal and having the chains and all of that. I thought all of that would be hot, man. That's not what I don't like that anymore. That's
right,
what I'm not in love with. I am I despise that as a matter of fact. You know what I'm saying? The only
right.
chain I have is this. This is Han Solo in carbonite. You know what I'm saying? It's silver. Okay.
Right,
I don't have rings anymore. Other than that, I got my red, black, and green beads, bro. I'm not into all of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't
right,
care about the glamour, the glitz. That's not what it's for.
right,
I At this point in my life, I want slavery nor involuntary servitude, except oh, is that anyway? I want people to resonate with my music, and so that's what I love. That's why I love music. You know what I mean?
right,
I love the reality of it. I love the people like you and the other people that are making honest music from the heart, no matter what genre it is. You know,
right,
that's what I love, especially and when it comes to hip hop. I love the people that are being honest and that are still in it for what it's supposed to be. Not the people that call it hip hop when it's not hip hop. It's just really trashy rap music. You know, people get it.
hmm
I hate when people call everything hip hop because everything is not hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
the genre, and I think yeah, we generally put stuff in categories like that. Yeah, I definitely
thank
feel
you.
you there. So, uh, do you have any business ventures coming up? Like we talked about it in the beginning, you have that going on. Please do still vote for Tony Crane. He has it on his site where you can go and you can, vote for him and still keep him up in the runnings as number one. But is there anything else that you have working on or things that you would like the world to know? If you could give one piece of advice to everybody listening and watching right now, like what's something that you would leave them with?
Okay, so first, I do have. Well, I'm still working on music. Um, for anybody that hasn't realized it, I think I said it before, but of course not in this podcast. But I've been releasing a song every month this year. I
Hmm.
plan on releasing a song every month and then putting all of that together, and that's going to be my next album. Um,
Yes, sir. That's how you do it.
Other than that, I'm still in the booth. I'm still writing. I'm looking to branch out and collaborate. Like I said, I'm pretty introvertive, um, and I don't want that to be detrimental to me. I think
Right.
I can reach more fans and have other people reach more fans by collaborating and making more music. Um, Other than that, I'm trying to build this business. You know, anybody that wants to vote for me can go to tonykrane.com, TonyKrane.com, and just click on America's Next Top Hitmaker. And you can vote there. You can vote as many times as you want, actually. Um,
And I let them know as well. They could find you on all platforms as at Tony Crane, correct?
Absolutely. At Tony Crane, yes. So if to tell people if I had to leave like a message, you mean?
Hmm.
Like like I said earlier, yo, the all is mind, the universe is mental. Uh, and to take it from Qui-Gon Jinn, your focus is your reality. And that's as true as it that's just what it is. Your focus is your reality. We don't have time to worry. I mean, hell, if you're a Christian, they even it tells you in the Bible, it's biblical. You're not supposed to worry. Once you pray about something, you're supposed to leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? You're
Let it
supposed to
go. Let go.
supposed to
Let God. That's what they say.
that's you know what I mean? All of these parables lead to focus on what you want, and that's it. We
Mhm.
you can't really help but worry, but you have to be able to streamline these things. You have to be able to consciously control how you feel and what you
Mhm.
think.
Right.
You
I
know,
agree.
we don't have time to waste. And mainly, I have a few hashtags that I use all the time. Teach the children, change the circumstances. We got to focus on the children. We don't have time to be worried about everybody else that are grown. Hopefully they'll listen. If not, you don't have time to waste with them. We have to raise the
Right.
next generation. We have to build up these next generations, and never forget the Ma'afa. We can't forget. We have to Sankofa. We have to go back to the past and bring it forward. That's the only hope that we have at this point. Because like you said, it's out of our control.
Right.
We can only build up from here and be
One more.
prepared.
One more thing that I would like to add into that as well too. Shout out to my dad. Like my dad be posting, well, not posting, but we talk a lot, and I thank God for having the ability to have a relationship with my father the way that I've gotten to. But like one of the things that he has really like instilled that I get now, like, and this is for anyone else that is watching as well. If you really want to make money in this world, you have to supply and you have to fulfill a need. You
Mhm.
must fulfill an actual need that people need to be taken care of. Like whether it's business, when you start that business, keep in mind what you are building for that target market, and is it going to how is it going to impact them? How is it going to benefit them? Because yes, you are trying to benefit monetarily from everybody. I believe that everybody is meant to be used to a certain level of degree, just like Kanye said. People are meant to be used, but don't misuse me. So
Mhm.
in that process, it's like you've got to be able to be willing to give away quality services. You have to give away, not necessarily give away, but you want to be able to give a level of quality service while it being a service that is on the scale of needs very high, whether it's home health beauty, whether it is, something that is going to uh, plumbing. Like people think that that's like, we don't have enough plumbers. It may seem like a dirty job and people don't like to do that, but it is something that again we all need. We all need certain electricians, the tradesmen, like all of that stuff is definitely well needed. So I know, for everyone else watching on my end, I thank you, each and every one of you that definitely takes the time to sit and watch and, learn and grow with everybody that we bring on here. But definitely, all of you, do not stress. Do not allow what is going on to take you out of the level of resonance that you've been in, because I mean, if it's needed and you need to change for a good reason, definitely please do that. But like, I feel like it's all like jump scares. And yes, this is a real thing, but the
Mhm.
level of unseriousness that the world has been, it just even within the 24 hours is outrageous. Like, I don't know if you've been seeing the memes and stuff that's been going on across the internet, but like, I mean, if you gotta laugh at it to kind of get over it, I understand that. I mean, that is what comedy has been used for in a lot of situations. Like if
Absolutely.
you think about all the funny stuff that people say, but if you were to take the context away from it and talk it from a serious tonality of voice, you would see that a lot of this stuff really isn't funny. And we do what we have to do to cope with pain, but just stay calm because it could definitely anything can happen, but anything might not happen as well.
Ah,
That makes sense. Like they could have a change of heart. Iran could definitely be like they may have taken that vow to attack, but they may not. But we can only hope and pray type deal. But um thank you, thank you, thank you again, Tony, for coming through and sitting and chatting. And I could talk all day long, but there has to be an ending at some point, and we are going to end it here.